Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the worst 6 brawlers currently inside of the meta. So we did this about a month ago or so, but as you guys probably know, a few of these brawlers probably are going to be moved out of the bottom 6, so a bit of a change up right there. So we're going to be jumping into that. So before we get into today's video, make sure you're using a credit code in the shop. That'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump into today's video. Alright guys, so jumping into the 6th worst brawler currently inside of the meta, we have Colette. So Colette right now is just basically unusable in competitive right now, which is a big shame. Colette used to be so good inside of Heist mainly. That used to be the one game mode where you could use her pretty much everywhere. Just talking probably like 4 months plus ago, where you basically use her like Kaboom every time. You'd use her on the save zone. She was literally in every single composition. So I'm kind of wondering why she's fallen out of the meta so much. I think one big reason is definitely because of Belle. Like people are finally starting to realize like how strong Belle is, and she's so good paired with well, just basically everything. Belle is good against everything and good into everything. So if she's in playing competitive, if she's in play in Power League, you're going to be using her over Colette, and Belle just completely destroys Colette. So if Colette obviously isn't used in Heist, what's she actually good at? She's only decent against tanks, right? Against other brawlers, she's really going to struggle in the lanes, and just overall she just doesn't have a good kit at all. I just think she's very lackluster and probably needs a little bit of love somewhere else. So of course you can look at giving her a second gadget. Like this gadget is decent, but overall I feel like it doesn't really help her too much. Like a lot of brawlers can outrange her, a lot of brawlers can out-peek her, and she's only really good against those brawlers that she can just 2-tap and super like that. Other than that, she's not really in the best spot in this meta, and it's kind of sad how like Byron Colette used to be such a strong combo, and even though Byron is like literally one of the most meta brawlers in the game, the Byron Colette combo is just falling off the earth. And, you know, you've got brawlers like Ash now that you can just pair with Byron, and people are finally starting to realize that Byron basically just synergizes with every single brawler in the game, right? Obviously Colette is a bit of a better synergy, but she's just not strong at all, and obviously in need of some love. So at the minute, even just getting destroyed in every single 1v1 situation, and even if I was to get super off some of these brawlers, I'm not going to be able to kill them. So it looks like we're probably going to lose this game after shooting the wall. But yeah, Colette just really not getting any love in competitive right now. Let's jump into the next one. Alright guys, so jumping into the 5th worst brawler currently inside of the meta, we have El Primo. So El Primo, as you guys probably knew quite a few months ago now, was the best brawler in the game for such a long time, which he finally got some love. But it's a bit of a shame how he's gone from like the best brawler in this game back straight into the bottom 6. So for me, it just takes way too long to get his first super. You guys can definitely clip that because that was pretty funny, right? That's why you don't really tend to auto-aim too many supers. You can go ahead and clip that. Worst El Primo in the world for sure. So yeah, El Primo just not being used at all in competitive right now, and the only way you're going to be able to see him if maybe you predict so many tanks facing off against a bunch of different tanks. And even at that, there's just a lot of better brawlers out there. You're not going to be able to synergize, well, you're not going to be able to cycle your supers too well. And again, the only way you really see him, if you use this gadget and you maybe use like a B or other tank counters with it, like he's good in that aspect. Other than that, just not very good right now, and you don't really see him at all. I've only seen him really in maps like Split, where people just use the Gale launch pad, just keep launching Primo in there, and then obviously it's going to be a much easier time to get your super and cycle. So yeah, El Primo just pretty much useless inside of its meta. You never really see him anymore, which again, it was a toxic meta. Like being able to cycle with super, it's got literally one of the best supers inside of a game, and it can be lead to a lot of toxic interactions. Let's see. Okay, somehow I landed onto that super. That's what happens when you don't play Brawl Stars too often. You start to become one of the randoms yourself. So this is going to be like a roasting myself video instead of roasting randoms, which you don't really get too often. So Daryl with the roll, I think he's more than likely going to put that in the corner. Okay, no, he actually misses that. El Primo with the jump. Don't think he's got enough HP to score that. Let's see if we're able to hold on for long enough. We're just going to spam our auto button for as long as possible, and hopefully we're able to defend it. Hopefully, I mean, Primo's got jump here. He could probably do a good goal with it. Let's see if he's able to convert that. Oh, it nearly breaks our ankle. So 40 seconds left. See if we're able to do too much. This Edgar is extremely bad. A lot worse than me, actually, which is by some feet, even though Daryl just breaks our ankles. But yeah, Primo just really not good inside of his meta. Let's jump into the next worst brawler. Alright guys, so next up as the 4th worst brawler currently inside of the game, we have Mr. P. So Mr. P hasn't been meta for a long time now, which I'm surprised about, because normally inside of Brawl Stars it's like a repetitive cycle of Mr. P becoming meta, becoming one of the worst brawlers in the meta, and it just seems like they want to kind of keep Mr. P out the meta for a long time, which I do like. I don't like Mr. P metas. They're extremely toxic and can just be really frustrating because there's not really too many counters to Mr. P, because is just so strong. But yeah, Mr. P not very good at all right now. I can't remember the last time I actually seen him used in competitive. I maybe used him like a couple of times in scrims in the last few months, and that's probably only really to counter like turret brawlers like Leon, maybe to destroy that turret, but other than that, just not really being used at all. I mean, I think I've actually used him in dueling beetles because there's like a toxic like triple turret comp. But again, other than that, not really used too much. And of course, we're going to be losing really fast. But this is a worst brawlers video. We're expected to kind of just get completely wrecked. So Mr. P is going to be one of the worst brawlers in the game. Let's hop into the next one. Alright guys, so next up as the third worst brawler in the game right now, no surprises here. Again, it's going to be Gale. So it's just the same story. Every single time we talk about Gale is that he's just been shown no love, which I'm really surprised about. It's been such a long time since he's had any sort of balance change. And I think like the last balance change that he actually got, I think it was something to do with his super damage, and that basically did nothing to him. It really didn't do anything to him, so I'm kind of surprised as to why they're really not doing anything with Gale, because he's had such an underwhelming kit. Like, the only thing he's good against is tanks, really, and even against tanks there's just better options. He's not really good in 1v1s at all against other brawlers. So again, I'd just like to hear what you guys really think is the solution to Gale, because obviously they're trying to think of some solution. Well, that was actually a weird interaction. He bounced and then I missed my super. That was actually quite funny to see. But yeah, as I was saying, like, he needs to do something, because he's just too strong against tanks and too weak against every other brawler in the game. So yeah, Gale just completely trash right now. Never ever seen him used, and when you do see him used, it's not with his gadget either, right? It was good on those fun game modes like Volley Brawl and Basket Brawl and game modes like that. That gadget was like completely broken, but in normal game modes it's not really good at all. And you actually only use the launchpad gadget, like again game modes like Hot Zone, where you see probably a little bit of Gale in. You see the launchpad gadget being used just to literally launch people launch tanks into the zone over and over again. That's probably the best usage you're probably going to get out of Gale at all in this meta. So I should be able to stun these guys against the wall. Mortis is chaining those bats like crazy. Okay, he's able to get the ball out of the way. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of popping off inside of this game again. Like, tanks are going to be easy for Gale, especially if you've got the stun star power. You can just keep cycling with stuns against the walls, which is a really good thing about him. Let's see if we're able to get our super in time. I mean, we're nearly close to cycling out super again. That's the really satisfying thing about Gale. I actually do enjoy playing him against tanks. Really fun brawler, because you can just keep cycling. They're just not going to be able to do anything. But yeah, competitive, he's not good at all. Let's see if we're able to sneak in against this Byron here. We probably are. Okay, he's got his splash again, which he's probably going to use on his hair. I'm just going to super this Daryl against the wall again. And again, I've got this super, so I'm going to look to try and stun this Rosa against the wall. And just look at that. Like, the tanks are just going to get completely destroyed. It's just a shame that against like every other brawler in the game, he's not going to have a good matchup. But yeah, Gale, completely useless in this meta. Let's jump into the next brawler. Alright guys, so jumping into the second worst brawler in the game currently, we have Karl. So again, it's just a persistent thing about Brawl Stars, where it's just like Mr. P, how, well, like, this brawler can just be like one of the best brawlers in the game or one of the worst. It never feels like it can be somewhere in between, and it's really sad, because Karl metas are actually my favorite metas. I feel like it's probably the most balanced the game will get when Karl is meta, because he's kind of easy to counter in ways when he's meta, and then also like easy to play against, not really too toxic, just really fun. But yeah, again, Karl never ever seen in scrims whatsoever. I can't remember the last time I seen him. Probably about 3 months ago was the last time I seen Karl in the meta, and it was only because of Siege. But now you just got different Siege brawlers like Buzz. You've got Mortis, who's really meta in Siege right now. So Karl basically being removed from all of it. So this should be an easy game right here. If it's Mortis, okay, you can just wall that in, because Brock has no ammo available. But you saw me pop off there. I did actually face easy brawlers for Karl to face off against, so he's still somewhat like usable on ladder, which most of these brawlers are actually usable, which is a good thing about it. But still, in comparison to the other brawlers, really weak. So that's going to be the second worst. Let's hop into the very worst. Alright guys, so jumping into the worst brawler in the game right now is going to be Shelly. So you guys probably know for sure that Jackie was the one that got removed out of the list. Like, Jackie used to be unusable, but now it's just poor Shelly on her own. So Shelly's probably like the only brawler right now, which I would say is pretty much unusable. Like, I've seen her being tried to be pulled off a few times in competitive. I think like at the beginning of the ESL season, like 2 weeks ago, I believe like a couple of teams actually tried the Shelly, and it just gets overwhelmed way too easily. Like, you wouldn't think that this brawler is a tank counter, because it doesn't really deal with tanks too well. There's just, again, so many different brawlers that are better. Of course, her kit is a lot better than before. with obviously like the slow being a lot better, the clay pigeons being pretty decent, so she's not like completely unusable, but in terms of competitive, I would basically say she is. I'll just never ever consider using Shelly. Like, at least I'll consider using some of the other brawlers upon this list, maybe if I was just trying to be a little bit wild, but yeah, Shelly is just too far. I just wouldn't really ever see myself using her in a competitive game in any type of meta. So poor Tick, he's going to get one-shotted there, which I didn't even know was a possibility with Shelly, but we should be able to walk this past the Pam here. A nice open goal. But that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know of your ranking in the comment section below and whether you think I'm being fair with this. But yeah, that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.